Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Why Didn't They Laugh? This is a video version. You can also hear the audio version on Why Didn't They Laugh, iTunes, Stitcher. This is going to be a fun one because I'm doing 4 back-to-back shows within 2 days of each other where I'm trying to crack a code about ducks. Specifically their deaths, their penises, a lot of duck info. As you watch or listen to this, send comments to me, whydidn'ttheylaugh@gmail.com, because one of my favorite things about this podcast is how interactive it is, and I need your point of view. Because as you will see, there's a lot of failure in comedy. Okay, so why ducks? I've been fascinated by ducks for a really long time. One of my first jobs in middle school and high school, I was a paper boy of the year twice. What's up? But I was also a dock hand, where I would sit at the dock all day and I would tie boats off and look for stuff. I started collecting cans to make a little extra cash, and I would feed ducks, and I would just throw bread at them, and that was it. And I got fired for sleeping, but it was because I brought a pillow. So that's like premeditated sleeping, because I planned it, because I planned the nap. And I've been joking about ducks for a while. This joke came from that experience of throwing bread at ducks, because the ducks would show so much excitement when I throw bread at them, but then women didn't show as much excitement when you throw bread at them when they make duck face. My joke is, how come girls making duck face get mad at me when I throw bread at them? That is a valid question when you've hung out with a lot of ducks and a lot of duck-facing women. And you can see that there is a very different vibe when it comes to bread and how it is thrown. This dude stole my tweet immediately. What an asshole. Here's another duck joke, not quite as popular as the first one, but in my mind, even more funny. Why do ducks choose to walk when they can fly? Choosing to walk over flight is like a real power, like pimp move, because it shows like, obviously you can flap your wings, but you choose not to. You know, it's kind of like when a very giant person doesn't beat up a little person. I could, but I don't have to. It's called humility and grace, and it's a real pimp move. And then here's my most recent fascination with ducks that came from this past October when I found out about their penises. They have a huge penis. Ducks have a giant penis, like one of the biggest in the animal kingdom. Pound for pound, I think the only thing that beats it is like a mollusk, like one of those little things, those little sea creatures. I think they're all dick. But duck having a 15-inch penis has fascinated me to the point of daydreams and nightmares. Don't Google it, especially, just don't Google it. It looks really crazy. It's all like corkscrewy and all over the place. But then I obviously Googled it and kept going down the rabbit hole. I even found an article that said, Chris Hayes defends duck penis study against right-wing onslaught. Their hammer size is so fascinating that it has bridged the gap into political debate. And if you dive even deeper into the shape of the duck penis, you'll learn about a sexual arms race. Because what's happening is male ducks are very rapey. Despite what Neil deGrasse Tyson tweeted, he said something about how if sex hurts an animal, they would all go extinct or something like that. Not at all true. He should probably stick to neutrinos, even though I love that dude. Love his shows, love his podcast, but biologically, he was either making a joke, which was funny, or he was perceived as a scientist by 5 million people and he just greenlit a lot of rape. I don't think he greenlit rape, but I'm not dumb, and I do understand humor. Not true for a lot of the people. I'm an actual comedian, and I still get people that they assume I'm not joking. Like one time I tweeted, so there are women on the internet, so all the dishes are done? Yeah, people were like, how dare you? I'm like, if you don't know that that's a joke, you're insane. And I'm only known for comedy. Neil is known for pulsars, gravitational waves, not sarcasm. So you may want to pump the brakes a little bit. Anyway, according to one study, 1/3 of all duck sex is rape. And these sexual assault victims are fighting back in a very interesting way. Their vagina is changing evolutionarily. they start making these little pussy labyrinths. It's like a pussy Rubik's Cube. So there's like fake vagina chambers. And my podcast with Tiffany Haddish, who's her movie with Key and Peele's coming out, Keanu soon, so check that out. But we got really into talking about duck vaginas because let's say a duck is like, some guy's like, I'm gonna bang you, duck, and the duck's like, no. Instead of just having to take it, what she does is she sends his penis down the wrong vagina. It's the rape vagina. And so now the duck penis is adapting to this with all these weird curves and like monstrosities. This is all happening under the water. Like, you don't even see this penis. It's just dangling down there as it's just like, meh. But the duck tipping point for me, which got me to this point, was last week on my podcast with Michael Loftus. We started discussing ducks. So here's a clip from that.
I don't want, you know what, and I don't want to sit in a stand and wait like for ducks to come by, and I don't want to use a call to lure them in, because that's cheating. When you do the female call, and like the poor fucking duck thinks he's about to get laid, and then you blow his brains out. No, I want to be like out there just like.
But that's a good way to die. If a duck, because you know a duck has an 18-inch cock. It's a true story. It's super curved. Yeah, I swear to God.
Like a corkscrew?
Yeah, I've spent entire podcasts on it. Yeah, if we go down this rabbit hole, if we go down this duck hole, that hole's getting fucked. Back. Yeah, so anyway, imagine if you're like this flying animal with like a 15, 16-inch corkscrew, and you're like, I'm about to fuck, man. And all of a sudden, just boom, you're just gone. It's just oblivion. Yeah. That's the way to go.
That wouldn't be a bad way.
That would be amazing. Like, it'd be like me opening my fridge, about to get milk and cookies, and there's just a ninja that just stabs me. Like, I'd be like, fine. So I was just in the best mood, and now I'm just joining Mother Earth.
You know what's got to be great is eagles, right? Because they bang in midair.
They do?
Oh, yeah. A guy bald eagle and a girl bald eagle, they hook up, talons go, and then they're in a death spiral.
It's like Point Break.
A death spiral. Yes, it's
Dude,
like
I'm more
Point
into
Break.
pigeons.
You
ever read about pigeons? At this point, I knew I had to dive headfirst into this duck premise because I'm obsessed. I wouldn't say obsessed, not like in a weird way, but I find myself bringing up ducks a lot. So duck jokes in the past have been real hit or miss. You know, several concepts over the years for me have become like a white whale. You know, like I chased a whale and I chased the whale hoping to get it, but it's always elusive. And others are just like farm salmon. You know, sometimes I'll think of a joke, first time I do it, kills forever. Unfortunately, there's not those. And I in my mind, I'm like, I know this is funny, but the crowd just keeps pulling back. They give me just enough, just a little glimmer, just a little idea that there's a white whale out there, but they never let me harpoon it. So how can I catch this whale? How can I make a duck wiener funny? The audience doesn't jump at the premise, but isn't it my job to both get past these mental roadblocks and get to the comedy? I mean, I can't just paint by numbers. I mean, some comedians do, which I will not name because I can't think of any right now. But I will think of some later. They just kind of do what they know the crowd will like. They're just always painting by numbers. Like, oh, studies show that people respond to this joke and this joke. But unfortunately, art isn't a science equation. This season of House of Cards was so good because that was one thing they talked about. It was big data, how much it swings elections. Whoever is in control of Google and Bing and all this stuff can manipulate millions of people. But this one character said, and I know I'm getting the quote wrong, but all that data can't cover the first time someone heard jazz. It can only live in the past. You can only feed the algorithm that exists. You can't predict the future. And science is all about making a prediction. That's what makes science special. It's one thing if you look in the past and say, oh, I can prove all this, but that's nonsense. You have to be able to get something and say, I will predict this will happen. And when that prediction rate reaches close to 100%, then you realize it's fact. Unfortunately, for science right now, there's some algorithms that are turning out pretty racist. Yeah, there's an algorithm, and these are proprietary. They can't tell you what's in the algorithm because they own it. But there's certain states that have an algorithm for whether or not a prisoner gets bail or not, like how likely they are to jump bail. And yeah, it's super racist. But then you start wondering, like, is math racist? So here's my first attempt at the duck joke at the Ha Ha Cafe this last Thursday night. I was thinking about the best way to die. You know what a duck whistle is? It's a mating call for ducks. It's like, "Wah," and it's basically the sound of a female duck being like, I want to bang. And then all the dude ducks are like, it's like, wah. It's like, yes, I'm coming, I'm coming. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but ducks have 15-inch penises. Yeah, but Google it later. It's the craziest shit you've ever seen. A duck dick is that big. It's that big, swear to God. So anyway, bear in mind I'm doing very well up until this point, but I iced them when I mentioned the duck dick. I'm chasing my white whale. I also open with, I was thinking about the best way to die, which I don't think they were prepared for. I don't think that's a great opening line looking back. Okay, here's the rest. So they're like flying at the duck ass, and then just boom, they just are back to the universe. You know, that's the best way to go, is you think you're about to fuck, and then you die. Like, imagine that? It's like, no, come in. I'm like, yeah, and then someone's just like, that's the way to do it. Because there's not enough time for you to be like, oh shit, I'm dying. You're still like, pussy, and then you're just gone. Okay, there's definitely something here, and my fascination with dying, doing what you love, came from my best friend dying 12 years ago. He was a pro snowboarder. I was a comedian. We were in college together. We were inseparable. We did everything together. And he died. He won the first X Games.
Well, our final results in the slopestyle competition looks like this. It's Shoemaker and Singler tying at the top. Then it's Finch, Walters, and Heifetz.
I don't know, it was really fun. Like, I didn't expect winning at all, like, when I woke up this morning. Like, I just came out here, and, like, after my first run, the guy's like, high score of the day, and I was like, whoa.
Enjoying every moment, so you try not to dwell so much on negative stuff, and you think about, you know, how he was always just beaming, and that's how you wanted to be.
He just had this uncanny ability to really just make people feel good about what they're doing. His ability to connect with all kinds of different people on all kinds of different levels.
He's real pretty, so people like to approach him. I think they just felt good talking to someone who's so pretty.
He could really bring out the best in people.
I think a great thing he told me once was that that hate isn't the opposite of love, and I was like, yeah, indifference is. You know, I was trying to put my 2 cents in, and he thought that fear is the opposite of love, and he was never scared. So he was one of the greatest loving people I've ever known. Just loved being alive, and he wanted you to share your life with him, and that's why people were drawn to him.
I guess I'm just glad that I knew him. That was, you know.
But this is all there's one reason why I have a hard time adapting to new social medias, because we were outliers back then. You know, we were doing stuff no one else was doing, but that was before even MySpace was invented, or Facebook, or Twitter. Now I'm starting to see like the rise and the fall of a republic, and a lot of these social geniuses will just get on the wave of something as it's coming up and then bail for the next thing, and then wave of it's coming up and then bail. Like Vine is already dead. And now, you know, Snapchat is, everyone's like, you do Snapchat, you do Snapchat, you do Snapchat. I probably will get it. I just see the pointlessness. When we were doing this stuff, the internet had just been invented pretty much. And we were like, we can now take these videos. We were doing videos for local television. And we're like, now we can put them online. And at that point, it was pretty much just like askaninja.com and a few other silly things. But it wasn't what it is now. And now I see it less as revolutionary and more as becoming an institution, where it used to be like, oh my God, we can now do this new thing that's amazing. And then my heart would beat, and I'm like, I want to go out there right now. I want to try and see if there's a new world. Let's leave England. Let's leave Spain. You know, we're probably going to die, but we're going to make it. Now it seems like that's over, and it's more like companies predicting within the millisecond what the next social wave is going to be and then just getting on that. It's becoming almost like how network television used to be. That being said, it's still a fascinating time. So he died doing what he loved, and that's what everyone said at his funeral. And when I talked, I was upset about that. I said, he's still dead. How does dying doing what you love matter? Like, you're still dead. And then as I get older, I realize it does matter. You know, when we were 23, I kind of want to write jokes about death, but a lot of times those bomb. The other day, this girl told me to live each day like it's my last, you know? So I listened to her, and I think it's a great way to live your life. And now all I do is just cry all day long. Because it's my last day, you know? I'm just so sad. He died on my 24th birthday. And so at that point, I'm like, he's never going to get a family. He's never going to... I just was like, my head was racing like, how dare you say that there's anything good about his death? But now at 35, I mean, if you think about it, life ends for everyone. So if you don't see it coming, how magical would that be? If it just comes and it's gone, you know, and then you join the universe. There is no pain, you are receding. And I'm not religious. I'm not anti-religious, but I'm not religious in the sense that I have any idea what happens when you die. But I do have this feeling that you just join something bigger than you, to the point where you don't even matter. And there's something beautiful in that. And so this is now affecting my duck joke. And now people say die doing what you love. They have for, I'm sure, thousands of years, but you'll see these memes all over the place. Memes upon memes. Yeah, there's something called flow, where you're engaged in something challenging enough to be challenging, but not too challenging to cause you high anxiety. And for him, it was snowboarding. And for me, it is comedy and music and podcasting and jogging, I guess, too. And if you died at that moment, that would be amazing. So imagine, like, that's how the duck call section comes. Like, no joke works without some sort of real commitment to some sort of emotional thing. But then you have to make it silly, or else you're just talking about death to a bunch of people that are on a date, which makes you the asshole. Dick talk ensures that things don't get too heavy. You know, one time someone said, how come you do a lot of dick jokes? And I said, because if you take out the dicks, I'm doing a TED talk on death. Classic, Owen. Classic, Big Bear. I try to do this joke again later that night at the Hollywood Improv. And I won't open thinking about how to die, because it's too intense. I'll try and open with more of a fascinating fact. Like deliver it more like, can you believe this? Also, I've noticed over the years that people like sound effects. Like when I do my horn joke about how we need more horns, like we need a "Are you okay?" horn, and me mom, like thank you, and you know, I do those, and people love sounds.
You know what a duck whistle is? Like that, like there's a you know what that alerts ducks? It's fascinating. It's a mating call.
Also, one of the biggest mistakes I've made is asking the crowd a question. It used to be a bad habit of mine. When I opened for Nick Swartzen for 5 years, he would always be like, and another set called 1,000 Stupid Questions with Owen Benjamin. I think it puts too much pressure on the crowd. When you start asking them questions, their thoughts go from their heart to their brain. You know, and laughter's in your heart. It can be cerebral, more soul, I think. And when you go cerebral, like when you ask someone a question, they think about their past, where it's like, do I know this? Has this happened to me? And that takes you out of your present, and everything good happens in your present.
That's got to be the best way to die. Can you imagine if we had a mating call and you just think you're getting pussy and then you just become the universe again?
Okay, here's more.
That's what a duck goes through. It's like, man, it's like, oh no way, duck pussy. Gone, just gone. That's the way to go, because there's not enough time to be sad and know you're dying. Like, I want that. Like, I'm about to get pussy, and then a fucking ninja just cuts me up. Because you're like, pussy, I can't be mad yet, and then you're just dead.
Okay, I still haven't gotten there yet. I had the crowd here, so I get some afterburn laughs because my previous joke did so well. But so at this point I know it's my fault. It's not a bad crowd. They're a great crowd. But the laughs go down a little bit. I think me comparing getting pussy to getting pussy is lazy. There should be a better metaphor for it, especially for me. So here's the next night at the Ice House, one of my favorite clubs in Pasadena, California.
Everyone wants to, people, if you're like, if you were an animal, what would you be? And it's typically like lion. Or like a girl's like, I'm a dolphin. It's like, I would never want to be a lion or a dolphin. I want to be a duck. And I've thought about it a lot. Okay, hear me out. I know I'm basically a 9-year-old, but they have a 15-inch dick.
There I am chasing that white whale again. You see that? When will I learn that no one else is blown away by the 15-inch duck penis? Fact.
They do, by the way. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys are like, is he lying? Is that real? Is that serious? Like a duck? That little duck has a 15-inch dick, right?
Maybe 15% of the crowd is like, yeah, that's amazing. I did not know that. But the rest is like, buddy, we didn't pay money to hear you like blow your own mind because there's a duck with a huge dick.
Okay, it can fly, but it chooses to walk. And here's the kicker. The best way to possibly die is a duck being killed. And I'll tell you, because the duck call is a mating call. I've thought a lot about how I want to die. That's got to be the best. When it's like, that's like, I'm going to suck your dick, duck. And the duck's like, move fucking away. I'm going to get pussy. I'm going to get pussy. Boom. Just back to the universe. That's the way to do it, because you don't have time to get angry about it, because you're so horny, right? That's how I want to go. I want my wife to be like, I'm about to let you, but then I'm just gone. Because even if I saw the ninja that was stabbing me, I'd still be like, I don't have time to not be hard.
And it's terrifying, That joke probably would have gotten a bigger laugh if I just did not bring up the duck penis. Still not there. It's really missing something. Okay, so here's the set right after.
Ducks. I think ducks have a pretty good life. I think I want to be a duck. Like everyone's like, I want to be a dolphin. I'm like, a lot of rape in that community. Dolphins are constantly raping each other. So are cats, by the way. So sweet dreams.
Okay, by the way, dolphins are terrifying. They're constant. Ooh, here's Benny. Hey, Benny. If you Google the term dolphin rape, which obviously I did as soon as I started learning about this stuff, you'll find countless references to male dolphins raping female dolphins, other males. They rape other males, and they rape humans. A dolphin will rape a human being. According to the dolphin's lawyer, the human was asking for it, wearing those tight khaki pants in the Florida sun. I'm an environmentalist, but I'm not lying to myself about nature. Dolphins rape a ton, and so do cats, and so does all animals pretty much. The reason, this is what this guy says, the reason for this, the term rape cannot be used to describe the kind of behavior scientists have observed in dolphins. The central problem is that the legal definition of rape includes a lack of consent on the part of the victim, and we simply cannot know the extent to which dolphins or other animals are able to give consent. A non-consensual act like rape has moral and legal implications that are only relevant in the human world, which is why animal scientists stopped using the term altogether in the early 1980s. Wow, this is actually a real this is real, guys. Someone's really writing this. The correct scientific term to describe when a male aggressively restrains a female in order to mate is forced copulation. Can you picture George Carlin having a field day? A field day with this. Forced, it's not rape. It's not rape. It's forced copulation, because we don't know if is actually, yeah, come on inside, Gary. I really want your dick in me. Because no, it's full-blown rape, guys. There's nothing, forced copulation. Forced copulation has been observed in ducks, lizards, monkeys, fruit flies, crickets, orangutans, chimpanzees, and countless other species. But not dolphins. No. A dolphin raped Jay Moore. He does a whole bit about it. They tell you not even to don't rub the underbelly of a dolphin, because it'll just forcibly copulate like your ass with its dick. So, yeah, we just have to start. I know the politically correct movement is not accepting of life, reality, or nature, but dolphins fucking rape people.
I like ducks because they die the happiest possible moment. You know what duck call is a mating call? Like, because humans don't have an obvious mating call. No chick's ever like, I need dick in my mouth.
See, this is my theory. I think humans, kind of like how ducks have developed this vagina labyrinth, humans have developed like a cultural vagina labyrinth. You know, physically, the human vagina is pretty straightforward, but culturally, there are a lot of trapdoors and false flags. One would think that these pants are a mating call for men. No, they're not. Or these pants? Nope, there's a good chance she's doing it for herself and you should stop sexualizing her. These pants? Same. No, I do what I want. I wear what I want. And if you think I'm advertising the lubricated nature of my vagina and 400-point font on my ass means I deserve your advance, then you're a sexist piece of trash. Even if a woman were to draw YOLO on her nude ass in public, YOLO meaning you only live once, it's still a potential trapdoor that leads you to a 7 to 10 stretch in Sing Sing. For the 5 to 6% of the population that doesn't understand context whatsoever and may tweet at me that I'm advocating rape, of course I'm not. It's funny when you apply an animal thing to a human thing when it doesn't quite fit, and that's like the mating call. I mean, there's so many mating calls that a woman will do, but it's not really a mating call. A lot of times they are just doing it for themselves, for style. They already have a boyfriend, they're a lesbian, or they're just trying to mate or do a mating call for a very small percentage of the population, which is like Derek Jeter and Michael Bublé. Other than that, it's not a mating call. So you gotta back the fuck down.
You know, women will throw out vibes like hair touches or like, where do you live? You know, like they'll give you singles, but it's never like, I need dick in my mouth. I need dick in my pussy. Ducks are literally like, did you hear that, Brian? They're like, fucking, I'm coming. I'm gonna fuck you. And then the hunter's just like, bam. And they never see it coming. They're like, I'm gonna get pussy. Then just the universe. Then they're part of a nebula. Yeah, it's true. It's fucking amazing. Just the duck, it's just pure. Like, I want that. I want that bad. But for mine is more like cookies. Nothing makes me happier than when I'm super stoned. And I know I made a bunch of cookies with coconuts in them. And I'm going up, and if I open that fridge, I'm about to, like, just really high eat cookies, and there's a ninja in there who's just like, I would die happy because I still think I'm about to eat cookies because I don't have enough time to be sad.
Okay, this crowd is smaller than the other ones, so the laughs were actually a good sign, and I think I figured it out. Previously, I rushed the action. This time, I said hunter and I mimed the gun because I think before I was getting, like, people were getting lost, and it wasn't their fault, it was my fault. Like, I was just saying they go off into the nebula, but I should say, like, gun and shoot the duck. So I mimed the gun, I said hunter, and that way the exact sequence of events isn't lost. I think the sequence should be horny duck, focused on pussy. Hunter aims gun, duck meets his creator. I'm still using too many words describing my demise, but it's getting there. It's too wordy. But it's always wordy when you're just shaping the beats. I think the proper order is duck envy, best way to go. So it goes, I envy ducks because that just sounds funny. People don't envy ducks, and I truly do. So duck envy, and then best way to go. That's the positive way of describing that I'm thinking about my own death. Duck whistle, and then the human equivalent, because comparing the two is an absurd comparison. Don't mention their huge dicks ever. Just don't mention that. Then the gunshot with the mimed action, and then the universe, back to the nebula. I think that's the move. I'm motivated by food. So my motivation is either going to be food or something else equally innocent, like opening a present could be funny. Like, what's calling me to do? or checking the mail, maybe. I'm just trying to think of like what is, maybe I could have my wife saying like coconut chicken or like whatever's like my favorite food. And I'm just running towards it. I don't know. Maybe I'm about to cannonball into a pool on a 100-degree day with all my best friends, and then I get hit by a train. Because there's no way I would ever see that coming, you know? But the train is more probable in that situation to me than a duck could possibly conceive of a bullet flying through the air, fired by a dentist, with a fake "I need dick" call around his neck. Think about the last thing a duck expects. It has no idea what a bullet is. No concept whatsoever of what a bullet could possibly be, or a dentist that wants to shoot it, or that like the "I need dick" call could possibly be made by a group of dudes with a reality show called Duck Dynasty. Okay, that's going to be it for this week on Why Didn't They Laugh. You can see me live in Cleveland, the Cleveland Improv, which is the April 6th through the 8th or 9th. Chicago Improv is the last weekend in April, and Stanford and Sons in Kansas City. Esther Follies in Austin for South by Southwest. That is tomorrow, or that will be, Wednesday. What's that? The 14th. The 14th. Come see that. It's with me and Eliza Schlesinger, Alonzo Bowden, a lot of great comics. South by Southwest is a blast. All that info can be Googled or Yahoo'd or Binged, because we don't hunt for our food anymore. So take some pride in hunting for your information. You know what I mean? Subscribe to my YouTube channel. This stuff's important. I know it sounds tedious to have people keep asking you for things. The audiences in general just keep being pestered to do shit, and I apologize for that. But I don't charge anyone for any of this shit, and I would do it for free, but I got a baby coming in under 2 weeks. So help the community. Humans can't typically think of more than 130 other humans, and then they start becoming apathetic. You know, you walk over homeless people in the street in a big city, but in a small city, you would help that person. The internet is like one big city. So just treat each other like, you know, if you like that person, help them. And I'm not asking for your cash. I'm just asking for your support and to help spread this shit. Because critical thinking is the most important thing in modern world. And I think this election year we can all see, and it does not matter what side you're on. I am not taking sides on this. Just critically think and don't just react. It's a lot easier to proclaim what you hate than it is to support what you love. And you got to start taking action. Don't just bash the candidate you hate. Start talking about why you love the other one. Or else it just is only going to get worse. And none of us are happy with the way things are going in our country right now. So let's try and, you know, make a difference. And I know this is silly. This is a silly podcast. I just talked about duck dicks for an hour. But it's that way of thinking that can kind of help people get out of a bad spot. You know, like the question why is a lot more important these days than how or what, because we're all eating enough. Even the poorest people in this country have enough food. Someone, you know, when you're tweeting that you are poor, you could save a little money by selling the goddamn cell phone, so you're not that poor. You know? All right, what the fuck am I telling? Subscribe. Oh yeah, when you have enough to eat, the what and the how doesn't matter as much. It's the why. And once you figure out why something's happening, it makes you less angry, and it makes you more capable of making decisions that will help you and your family in the long run. Email me, whydidn'ttheylaugh@gmail.com, with letters, videos, pictures, anything. I'm obsessed with information. The more information you give me, the better. Like, for example, eagles have almost no dick. They may have no dick. The eagle. I'm a big fan of the pigeon because it's monogamous. They have there's more pigeons in New York than there are people. They can travel thousands of miles without a map, and they can recognize letters. They can actually spell. Yeah, so subscribe, comment, rate, and write to me. And I'm also putting together another documentary about love and relationships. So tell me what annoys you about your partner is I'm trying to get to the bottom of problems. I want to see what causes problems and how to make it so it stops. That sounds so simple, but I think that that's the move. All right, much love. I'm Owen Benjamin. Oh yeah, and my kid's gonna be named Walter because it's one letter away from water. Keep drinking that water. Keep drinking that water. If you drink enough water, your skin will be soft, your dick will be hard, your vagina will be nice, and that sounded weird. I have no right to talk about a lubricated vagina, but water will make your life better. And peeing feels like an orgasm. All right, much love.